Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, Governor Abbott pardons convicted murderer Daniel Perry, who fatally shot a protester in 2020.
The Galveston Bridge struck by a barge ship Wednesday is now partially reopened, the latest in the cleanup efforts.
And authorities are urging Calhoun County residents to report any damage after Monday's severe weather.
And speaking of severe weather, folks, if it's not at your house right now, it will be soon. Here's Victoria. You can see the big long line of storms coming in from Houston all the way down to Gonzales. Just crossed the I-10 corridor. It will be here within the hour, and we could see some big thunderstorms because this is going to be a 1-2 punch. First tonight and then tomorrow morning, and we'll have more on that coming up in a moment.
And it is postseason day out on the diamond. I'll have that coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia. Let's kick it over to weather. Today is an alert day. Chief Meteorologist has the details.
Well, thank you very much. It's been cloudy and gloomy all day long with light sprinkles, but now it's about to get heavier. There you see Victoria, there you see Highway 59 up to Houston, and the big long line of storms now rolling down into that area. This is going to be interesting because this is sort of the one punch. There's going to be a break overnight, and then there's going to be more tomorrow. I'll tell you why. You can see how the big cluster of storm is rolling from Dallas down toward Houston now, and of course we're going to be clipped by it as the stormy weather moves through. There's a slight benefit here is that the activity has begun to decrease in intensity, which is good. It's not getting worse. But this is, shall we say, the beginning of it, because after this line moves through within a couple of hours, and certainly by 10 o'clock, then tomorrow morning there's another line of storms coming through, which will make Friday a little rough. We'll have more details on your weather coming up in a few minutes, so stay tuned.
Mac, thank you. Calhoun County residents are urged to report storm damages from Monday to the state. If you had damages, go to damage.tdem.texas.gov. The National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado hit near Port Lavaca Monday with maximum sustained winds of 105 miles an hour. The length of the tornado's path was over 13 miles.
Yeah, and the National Weather Service also says damaging straight line winds around 85 miles an hour touched the south side of Port Lavaca towards Magnolia Beach Monday. Straight line winds of 60 miles an hour were also reported in Port Alto. And authorities arrested a 22-year-old Calhoun County suspect today. Elijah Harvey of Port Lavaca is charged with sexual assault of a child, violation of parole. He is in the Calhoun County Jail. No bond is set.
A 28-year-old Victoria suspect was arrested early Thursday morning by DPS troopers. Martin Acevedo Porcado is charged with driving while intoxicated, resisting arrest, and assault of a public servant. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $25,000 bond.
Brad Tucker is running for Victoria County Commissioner Precinct 3. This position works with the Victoria County Judge and 3 other precinct commissioners. Together, the Commissioners Court handles the financial decisions of the county. A Victoria native, Tucker worked in the construction industry for 25 years and owned and operated Tucker Construction Company for 18 years. Tucker won 35% of the vote in the March 5th primary.
Well, it would be an honor to be elected to Commissioner's Court, to be a part of our long history and the great things that have happened in Victoria County. I would be honored to be elected.
Brad Tucker is facing Shannon Martin in the May 28th runoff for Victoria County Commissioner Precinct 3. Early voting for the May 28th runoff election starts next Monday, May 20th. Early voting takes place at the Dr. Patty Dotson Public Health Center, 2805 North Navarro, Classroom A. Early voting hours are next Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., bringing us to your viewer poll. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote. The question is, who are you voting for in the May 28th runoff? According to our results, it looks like Not in My Precinct takes the lead with 67, followed by 22%, or rather 21% with Brad Tucker. Alrighty, I like seeing those live results change. And then we got Shannon Martin back with 13%. Thank you for voting. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6. An 18-wheeler spilled debris into a roadway Thursday at around 7:30 this morning. The 18-wheeler with an open trailer spilled debris from the back of its truck along Mockingbird Lane and Navarro Street. The outer northbound lane of Navarro was temporarily closed for about 30 minutes while first responders cleared the debris. There were no injuries.
A two-vehicle wreck was reported Thursday at Nursery Drive and Main Street. A Camaro collided with a Chevy pickup at 9:37 a.m. The Camaro was driving northbound when the truck was going southbound. The truck made an unprotected left turn onto Nursery across the intersection and failed to yield to oncoming traffic. The Camaro hit the truck at speeds close to 50 miles an hour. The driver of the Camaro has minor injuries sustained from the airbag. A 39-year-old suspect was arrested by Wharton County deputies Wednesday. David Pettis of Houston faces charges of evading arrest with a vehicle and unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. He's in the Wharton County Jail in lieu of $60,000 bond.
Governor Greg Abbott pardoned a former Army sergeant convicted of murdering a protester at a Black Lives Matter rally in 2020. Daniel Perry was sentenced last year to 25 years in prison for fatally shooting 28-year-old Air Force veteran Garrett Foster. Abbott's pardon came after the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles unanimously voted to recommend a full pardon and the restoration of Perry's firearm rights. He was released from prison Thursday afternoon.
The future.
The future of Texas migrant blocking buoys may depend on whether the Rio Grande is navigable. Now, the full 17-member 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals heard arguments on the issues in New Orleans on Wednesday.
It's the latest courtroom debate over border control between President Biden and Governor Greg Abbott. The judges did not indicate when they would rule. The buoys were placed in the Rio Grande last year to stop migrant traffic. The U.S. Coast Guard estimates that up to 2,000 gallons of oil may have spilled into surrounding waters when a barge carrying fuel broke free from a tugboat and slammed into a bridge near Galveston. The barge drifted away from the tugboat, pulling it, and crashed into a bridge Wednesday morning. The Coast Guard says the impact caused the span to partially collapse and cut off the only road connecting Galveston to Pelican Island. With reports of bird flu back in the news, there's rising concern about how the virus is transmitted and who is at risk.
Yeah, veterinarians in Iowa talk about the precautions they're now taking.
Avian influenza, also known as bird flu, continues to be a topic of conversation among many people, including veterinarians.
We're required every 3 years to take continuing education, mandated by the USDA, basically in prevention and mitigation of foreign animal diseases.
As an associate veterinarian with Circle P Veterinary Services, Kieran Hartley says while they are trained to identify and treat diseases like this among animals, some clients are concerned about catching it themselves. But he assures them of the low-level risk.
There have been cases of bird flu or avian influenza that have, affected people. At this point, a lot of those are kind of isolated incidents, with people working very closely with, an affected species, people, like veterinarians or, poultry workers, things like that, who have constant contact.
Right now, experts say the newer cases are still isolated to dairy cows, but can put other animals at risk.
It is affecting dairy cattle, but it's not nearly as deadly to them as it is to poultry. As a matter of fact, we've not seen any deaths from or very few or no deaths from this from dairy cattle.
A vet's advice is simple. Stay protected when handling at-risk animals.
Mitigating, us bringing, diseases onto a property that we may be having on our clothes or boots or, trucks or on our person. And then also making sure that anything that we, encounter on property stays on property.
Work continues on the Victoria College new Student Success Center.
Ground was broken on the center in January. The 3-story expansion and renovation of the existing student center will provide students with resources, including a library, admissions, advising, financial aid, testing, veteran services, and tutoring, all in one central campus location. This is a $2.8 million project. Victoria College President Dr. Jennifer Kent has this update.
If you come on campus, you can see that we have officially begun all of the construction. And if you can't make it on campus, we have a new web page that's rolling out very soon with lots of updates, videos, and pictures so that the entire community will know exactly where we are.
The Victoria College Student Success Center is scheduled to be finished by the end of 2025 in time to celebrate BC's 100th anniversary. In Refugio County, city and county officials are holding a hurricane preparedness summit to help residents prepare for this year's hurricane season. The event begins May 24th at 9 a.m. and runs until 2 p.m. in the Refugio City Hall Ballroom located on 613 Commerce Street. Lunch and refreshments will be provided. To RSVP, call 361-526-2835. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on
YouTube. They have to know it by now.
We'll keep telling them.
Yes,
So
we will keep reminding you.
Everyone will know. Stay with us. 2-day floods hit the south. Coming up on 25 News Now at 5, why forecasters predict it will be a nightmare.
Also ahead, we hear from Cuero's newly sworn-in mayor.
This morning, DPS unveiled its new Fallen Officers Memorial during the department's annual Peace Officers Memorial Service. DPS Director Stephen McCraw and members of the Public Safety Commission were joined by Governor Abbott and former DPS Director Lamar Beckworth. The DPS Peace Officers Memorial Service offers an opportunity to pay tribute and honor the legacy of fallen DPS officers and non-commissioned employees who gave their lives in the line of duty. Parts of the South are likely in for significant and considerable flash flooding. Several rounds of storms are set to pummel waterlogged areas today and tomorrow.
Forecasters predict the results will be a nightmare.
Stay vigilant. There's actually another storm system that is slated to be moving through Louisiana.
Some forecasters are calling it a nightmare scenario for weather. Southern states are already waterlogged from this month's severe weather. Now some areas could get as much as 3 inches of rain per hour during new rounds of storms. Forecasters say parts of Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi could see significant flash flooding today. Storms could stretch into Alabama, Georgia, and Florida tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little harrowing.
Some communities in the path of these new storms are still picking up the pieces from previous ones.
We have been through several hurricanes here, and through all of the cleanup and stuff that we've done, this is probably the worst I've ever seen this facility in 20 years.
He's talking about this baseball field in Louisiana's West Baton Rouge Parish. It's damaged from a deadly storm Monday. So is this man's nearby home.
I mean, we're lucky that, the roof didn't cave in more than I guess it already has.
Houston's Hobby Airport has a freshly repaired runway after a lightning strike Monday. And in Tallahassee, Florida, residents on one street say debris trapped them at home Sunday.
It was a lot of pulling branches and getting the hedge trimmers out. Unfortunately, we don't have chainsaws, so it took a lot of hand sawing.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Cuera's new mayor took his oath of office at the city council meeting Monday evening. Although he is new to the position, Emil Garza was born and raised in Cuero. The former city councilman at large has a background in leadership from his 32 years in the Air Force and 25 years as a prison warden. He's also already worked with the city council and says they are a strong team. Garza emphasized transparency in decision making for Cuero. He wants those in Cuero to know that they can trust him.
I want to be transparent with everything that goes on. No secrets, man. No secrets at all. I think there's some great things coming to Cuero. Great things coming to Cuero.
His first meeting as mayor is June 10th. He acknowledged upcoming challenges, particularly regarding the budget for the city. Garza invited the community to all the meetings, and he says the future of Cuero relies on collaboration with the city council and the community.
Well, the stormy weather is just about to roll into our area. Here's Victoria, and here's the line that just crossed I-10 this afternoon. It's going to be rolling down, and we should be looking at big thunderstorms overnight into tomorrow morning. We'll have all that coming up in just a moment.
Is a severe weather alert from the 25 News Now First Warn Storm Team.
Well, good evening, everybody. Yes, we're about to get some stormy weather rolling through the Victoria area. You can see, well, let's see, Houston, all the big stuff, and the big line just crossed I-10, and that's dropping down into the region. There's actually a secondary push. This is going to be a 1-2 punch because the low is still out to the west. It needs to roll over us, and when it's past us, then everything will settle down. So this is actually going to give us a second surge of moisture on Friday morning. I'll have more on that coming on in a moment. Here's Victoria, here's Edna, and you can see how the stormy weather is just about to move down into the area. I will say this is not the severest part of this line. These are showers and thunder showers, yes, but up between Wharton and Houston is where the heaviest part of that line is occurring. But you can see how the showers will be moving down into our area, and between somewhere 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, we should be looking at some stormy weather around the area. Now, we, of course, are wondering what else is going to happen to us, and then we are going to look at a second line coming in after a little bit of a break overnight. So here we are, well, down Victoria right there, Forster? What am I looking at? Fortran, yes, I'm sorry, my eyes were deceiving me, is where the shower activity is located, right about here all the way to Gonzales. Now further back there was some stormy weather with some trees down and all that. This part of the line is weakening, and therefore we should get something, but hopefully nothing bad. We want the rain, we just don't need that severe stuff. Here is what we expect for tonight. The severest part of the activity is north of I-10 all the way to Houston. We have a chance, slight chance of severe weather in our area through tonight. And then tomorrow we have a second chance because there's a 1-2 punch coming in right about here. You can see this activity, and then it gets weaker and then weaker as we go through your Friday. So here is the timing of it. So here's Thursday at 8 o'clock, okay? That's when it'll be right on top of us. Now we go from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and you can see how that line comes through, brings the shower activity south of the Highway 59 area, and then we go into Friday, Thursday night, late Friday, into Friday morning, and all of a sudden there's a little bit of a break. But you see that by sunrise, or certainly in the overnight time period, there'll be a second line of storms coming through. This is 3 in the morning. 4 or 5 in the morning, you can see the activity that will be right on top of us. This will be more, shall we say, not a solid line, but there'll be individual heavy thunderstorms as the system above finally moves ashore. 7 a.m., we're still looking at showers around the area, thunder showers, thunder and lightning. So, Friday morning is not going to be very cooperative. You might just want to roll over and have another cup of coffee. And then by the time we get to 10 a.m., most of the real heavy stuff is down toward the coast, and we should start thinning out. Right at about noontime, we should see breaks in the cloud cover, and then all of that activity sort of fades away during the rest of the afternoon. So that's the 1-2 punch I was telling you about. One is tonight and the other one is tomorrow morning. Because of the cloud cover tomorrow, we'll only get up to 86. And then, of course, we're looking at 88 out to San Antonio and 78 in the Houston area. This time of year, we have to start looking at the tropics. This is the beginning of the Pacific tropical storm season. And in this area right about here, within probably 2 or 3 days, we're going to see the first developing storm, but that's on the Pacific. The Atlantic has not woken up just yet, which is okay. Now here's tomorrow in Port Lavaca, shower activity less than 80 degrees. In Cueros, shower activity less than 80 degrees. And then by Friday evening, that should start settling down. That gives us a pretty good Saturday and Sunday with lots of sunshine, drier air, and temperatures pushing up into the 90s. In fact, for next week, I'm looking at a little bit of a heat wave. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Scan that with your phone and put it on your cell top. We'll toss it over to Karina.
Thank you, Mac. And now here's Zach Brown with your sports.
The postseason out on the diamond march is on. Matchups and score updates coming up in sports. It is playoff day in the Crossroads for many area teams. Now for Victoria East, they begin theirs tomorrow. They are headed to the regional quarter round for the first time since the 2018-2019 season. They have had their eyes on a deep push all year long, and now it's here. When I got over to practice at Riverside a few days back, the guys were loud, energetic, excited, and head coach Wes Coley is excited to be back here himself. He's proud of his guys who have come so far, and he says they didn't come this far just to come this far. Can the Titans get a big Game 1 victory? Tomorrow night, we shall see. Now, a rival playoff series between two Crossroads teams begin tonight. That is the Shiner Comanches and Ganado Indians. Their games will all be at Riverside Stadium right here in Victoria, with Game 1 first pitch set to take place tonight at 7 p.m. These two split their season series. They know each other very well. Should be a fun series between these two squads. Now, after losing Game 1 of their doubleheader, Tidehaven baseball staves off elimination with a huge 3-0 victory in Game 2 of their doubleheader against the Columbus Cardinals. Game 3, win or go home, will be Saturday in Weimar. In softball, a rematch from last year's heartbreaking loss for the Lady Brahmas is set to take place today at Sinton High School. Hallettsville softball gets a shot at revenge on Santa Gertrudis Academy, who beat them last year on a play at the plate to end the Brahmas season. Hallettsville is back looking for another state title run. The Houston Astros have suddenly found their season back on track after being 12-24 just over a week ago. The first run of last night's ball game came on this Kyle Tucker hustle double. Then the throw gets away and in comes Altuve, and later that inning Tucker would work his way over to third. Bregman, who was awful to begin the year, has been on a tear. Sacrifice fly makes it 2-0 in the first. The Astros would score once more in the fourth, score 3-0. That would be the final score. Astros winners of 6 of their last 7, just 5.5 games back of first place. Now the Texas Rangers also victorious, getting on the board first in their win against Cleveland from Trevor Simeon. Texas would go on to win 4-0, and that's going to snap their 5-game losing streak. Texas off today, get AL West foe the Los Angeles Angels at home tomorrow night. That is it for your sports. Donna, Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. We're back in a moment. A raccoon was caught on the field of a pro soccer game in Philadelphia last night.
Finally tonight, the quickest guy in a soccer field near Philadelphia last night had 4 feet instead of 2. It was a raccoon who wandered onto the pitch where the Philadelphia Union faced New York City FC. The furry intruder was spotted about 20 minutes after the opening kick. Staff and players soon found out you cannot stump him, you can only hope to contain him. Someone used a trash can to corral the pitch invader, and we don't know if the raccoon was shown a red card, but that was the soccer team's goal to get that raccoon off the field, and they won.
And they won.
And they won, by golly. Now, are we going to have a winning night for weather?
Well, we got some stormy night for weather. We've got some stormy activity just about to roll into the city. Fortunately, it's not severe. It is garden variety showers at this time. The heaviest stuff is from the Wharton area on up into El Campo and Wharton and all the way up to Houston. We are looking at rain tonight, showers and thunder showers, a break overnight, and then more coming in on Friday morning.
Thank you, Mac, and thanks for joining us.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.